Standing light kick. Modern controls. Changes the attack performance. Wait, changed standing light attack from standing light punch to standing light kick. Oh, wait. Hang on. What is this actually? I'm curious now. I'm not, like, immediately on board with the idea. No shit! Modern gets light kick. Just at one button. Holy shit. Okay, that actually matters. I have never been on the train of like, oh, modern Zangief is a gimmick. I think modern Zangief is more than capable, like, has more than enough of like the toolkit of regular Zangief and the benefits of modern to be valuable. I'll have to go back and look through his whole thing to sort of recontextualize this, but yeah, from crouching light kick to crouching light punch. Assist combo 1. Auto will now perform... Okay, so they just could have rearranged it. Right. I already thought that he could get light kick, because I thought that his modern combo was light kick lariat or something. That's fair. Okay, but I still do prefer that. I think that's probably better. Right, whatever. Assisted combo, crouching medium punch, that doesn't matter. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Right, but for the actual things, back throw nerf is kind of crappy for him, but he does... it doesn't really matter, and he already has down forward throw. That's good. Standing light kick, pushback on hit reduced. That is amazing. A minor little buff that helps him in every single application of the move. Standing medium punch, pushback on hit, and the target combo is buffed to have more range, etc. All this and all the super art gauges and stuff. Okay, let's talk about... Alright, all this shit is excellent. Standing heavy kick, crouching medium punch, pushback on hit reduced. I forgot that they did that for crouch strong as well. And then crouching medium kick. All of these changes, all this shit for like drive gauge on punish counter, regeneration super gauge increase, etc. All those things are so good for him. They go over and above what was necessary. Oh wait. To fix and improve the character. I gotta say, I haven't looked at Manon that much since the new changes. I haven't looked at Marisa at all. I don't even know what Marisa's changes are right now. But, I gotta say, the overwhelming value and practical application of the Zangief changes, I do think, especially with the lackluster Lily changes, I probably think that Zangief might be the best grappler now. It's unclear. I don't know if he's better than Marisa, but he's certainly, I think, better than Manon and Lily, even with the changes they got. So, okay, first, like most important selection. Okay, in general, every single thing that increases how much drive gauge damage he does on block, how much drive gauge he regenerates for all of his moves, all of his throws, his SPD now regenerates more drive gauge whenever he lands it, etc. Everything, all of that helps in a way that both Manon and Lily still struggle from. All these characters were bad at, which was like maintaining their drive gauge and the fact that they were so thirsty and they had to spend so much meter to get so little out of it. And they've made adjustments to that. So all that stuff now does more damage. Lariat does more damage. But most importantly, you don't have to rely on things like this as much. Standing medium punch is better. The target combo is better. Charge fierce is better, etc. But most importantly, knee is way better, and this is way better. Now, the knee matters a lot more than this. This I've seen in, like, super high-level play now. Like, I watch Itazan versus Kakaru matches, and Kakaru is already adjusted to perfect parry this move on reaction, so even though it's way safer on block now than it was before, -7 at this range, that's nothing. Way, way, way safer on block, especially with Drive Rush. -4 at that range, nothing's gonna fucking happen with that. Ridiculously safe, but even then, I've seen only Kakeru, but I've seen Kakeru perfect parrying it consistently on reaction in neutral, which is just, like, insane to me, but presumably at high-level play, that is possible still. So I'm not gonna come out and say that this is automatically, like, fucking god tier now, just because it's so outrageously safe. But it is certainly helpful. It's a useful tool to complement the rest of his kit. There's a number of things. If he comes in with a fucking... If he comes in with this, there's situations where you can be like that, so you can chase down back jumps. That'll hit him if he hits a button. That'll hit him if he doesn't hit a button. Etc. In a number of circumstances, main huge gigantic buff, knee, insanely good now. The whiff, the fact that no matter how close you are with Drive Rush, it's always +1. The natural use of it is way easier to use without Drive Rush now. There's tons of situations where you can implement that into his normal kit. So wake up, back jump, etc. You can easily chase down a lot of stuff. It's just such a useful tool in this variation. And then, yeah, let's see, his level 2, there's some, like, juggle stuff he can do. I'm not super familiar with that. I think now, when so many of his tools, the biggest buffs being all of his buffs to drive gauge regeneration and drive gauge damage on just all of his normal attacks and actions. The +7 on Drive Rush, low forward is good. Is pretty good. You get on counter hit, you can always double it up, etc., or do other stuff. If you chase down from a certain distance, you can connect stand short and then convert off of that, etc. So lots of good stuff off of that. The stomps are more usable now because you can use them and then just hit if they do hit, you can just hit confirm. If the first hit hits, I've tried to single hit confirm the second hit. I think it is possible, but it's kind of awkward and difficult to do in my opinion. But in any case, you can also double up the... If you, say, get, like, stand short into whatever, or let's say you just get this, you get, like, a check into that, you can get, like, 1743 damage off of that interaction, and that's, what, 2.2 centimeters super? Where you can get that, slightly less damage, barely less damage, and you get 2.7 centimeters super. So, I do think that's more valuable in those particular instances. It's not like he would get high damage either way. The extra super generation from the stomp routes, etc. So I do think that is preferable in that circumstance. And it builds as much super as doing that, which is significantly less damage, so... Well, it's actually not. What? Hang on. Was that because of... I haven't remeasured this after the fact. 2... Oh, it was because of the short. Okay, right. I was like, that's definitely less damage. I know that for a fact. So, yeah, I think that's particularly valuable. I do think now, when this is fucking insane, it's absolutely ridiculous. Getting, like, meaty situations allows for absurd strike damage he was never capable of doing before. This buffs all of his normal interactions. This buffs his fucking DI or counter DI situation to get way more damage now. Tons of situations where he just dumps so much more damage than he did before because that he can get this now off of Headbutt. But yeah, the knee being plus at any range is helpful. You get situations like this where you used to be able to, you know, you could always do these where you could sneak in SPDs. But you didn't have, like, the strongest necessarily strike throw game afterwards if the opponent, like, jumps out of it. So off of, like, stand short, you could do this, and that was the default thing would do, and that does 2620 damage, builds, like, 2.2 centimeter super, and has, like, a shitty lariat knockdown, whereas now, you can do that. That clips backdashes, that clips jumps. It does 400 extra damage. It builds like a full 1.5 centimeter extra super. And it regenerates you more drive gauge. Oh my god, I'm so bad. I'm so bad. I'm embarrassment to my family. That regenerates more drive gauge, and then you get a better knockdown than lariat, and more options off of that just because of the air SPD, which has a better knockdown than regular SPD. Drive rush, stand medium punch is better because of the extra range of and the less pushback on hit of the target combo follow up. That's a better meaty, useful meaty to check people, getting antsy on wake up, etc. because it's so much safer on block now. Let's see, yeah, you can do that. You could always do that before, but knee was not plus on block at point blank range with drive rush before, so it wasn't as valuable to put that gap in. But most importantly now, because you can get the meterless air SPD on strike situations like that, that's a conversion you didn't used to be able to get. Level 2 routes are better in certain ways because of the, because of being able to do that. So that does like 3,500 damage and builds like 3.4 centimeter super and regenerates you like that much drive gauge. Here, let me demonstrate it at like 2 drive gauge. So if I just do the normal version that just hits like this, it does 3860 and it builds you back to a little bit under 4 bars off of that. Whereas if you do this, you regenerate significantly more drive gauge, and you build more super, and you only do like 300 less damage. So, tons of new things that he can do that are incredibly good. And his damage, especially with this being buffed, and his Grappler X tendencies with this being buffed and all of his methods of regenerating drive gauge getting buffed, I do think he is now the best grappler, period, and I think actually very strong right now.